Atma Namaste. Welcome to your first session of asana. We will introduce you to some basic asanas and the instructions, the foundation of yoga. So just sit on your mat and sit comfortably. Close your eyes for a moment. Start breathing in and breathing out. And bring your attention to your belly breath. With every inhale, the belly is coming out. With every exhale, the belly is going in. So inhale and exhale. And if you want to set an intention for your practice, this is the great place to do that. Now very gently open your eyes. Reach your arms, extend your arms toward the ceiling. Let's give a little bit of external rotation to the arms. What I mean is, imagine that the inner arms or the biceps are turning to the back of the room. And the outer arms are turning toward the front. That's called the external rotation of the arms. So this might make the palms facing to the back of the room. Stay here for another breath. And then very gently you're twisting to the right and lower your left arm. Keep your back flat. You're elongating the torso. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, twist to the right. And again, inhale, coming up. Exhale, twist to the left. And again, inhale, coming back up. And exhale, twist to the right. And come back to the center. And very gently lower your arms. Place your hands on your kneecaps. And let's move your body in a circular movement, just giving a little bit of a stretch to the waist area before we get into other poses. Let's do the reverse. And from here, you're going to transition to the tabletop. So come on your all four, basically the hands and the knees. This is called tabletop. As you can see, I look like a table right now. So the knees are underneath the hips and the hands are underneath the shoulders. If you need to pad your knees to not to feel the pressure if you're on a hard floor, you're welcome to do that. Very gently, you're going to open the chest to the front. This is called cow. And with the exhale, you're coiling your back all the way. This is called cat. So again, this is a spine movement pose. So again, cow, inhale, and exhale, cat. Inhale, cow, and exhale, cat. And again, inhale, cow, and exhale, cat. Inhale, cow, exhale, cat. And then coming back to the neutral position. Just lift your right leg to the hip height, as you can see me, and make sure that the toes are pointing toward the floor. So you're internally rotating your right thigh. If it's pointing outside, just bring it back inside. And if you feel this is already too much, so stay here. Otherwise, if you want to go deeper, you can extend your left arm as well to the same height. Breathe in and breathe out. Very gently lower your hands and your knee. And let's do the left side. Again, make sure the toes are pointing to the floor. And when you're ready, reach your right arm. Breathe in and breathe out. Lower your hand. Back to the tabletop. Let's wash this again with one cat-cow. Open the chest to the front. And you're going to do the exhale, coiling your back all the way. And back to the neutral position. Then from here, coil your toes under. And we want to go to a pose which is called Adho Mukha Shavasana, which is in Sanskrit, which is called down dog. And it's one of the most important poses of vinyasa flow. So when you're ready, you're going to gently lift the knees and push the hips and the thighs to the back of the room. So as you can see me, so I'm lengthening the upper body, pressing my palms strongly to the floor, and I'm engaging the forearms and the upper arms, and at the same time pressing the upper thighs to the back of the room. So this is the first down dog, and I would recommend let's start pedaling your feet one at a time to give a good stretch to the body. Breathe in and breathe out. So you're giving a good stretch to the hamstrings, the back of the legs. And when you're ready, just come to the stillness and gently walk your hands toward your feet. When you get to the feet, pause and release the head and the neck. This is called Uttanasana in Sanskrit. So as you can see, it's completely fine to have a little bit of micro bend in your knees. If you want, you can start straightening the legs, but again, if it's too much pressure, I would recommend to have a micro bend and bring the chest closer to your hips. Sorry, not the hips, the thighs. Breathe in and breathe out. Then very gently, you're rooting down through the feet and come all the way up to the standing, coming to the mountain pose or Tadasana. So, let me explain to you what is the mountain pose or Tadasana. So in yoga, we have the most common standing pose. It's called Tadasana in Sanskrit, or in English, mountain pose. In this standing, it's your choice to have the feet next to each other, or you can also have the hip width distance. But you want to make sure that the feet are parallel and the outer edge of your feet are parallel to the outer edge of your mat. And you're having your weight on the four corners of the feet, and at the same time lengthening the upper body, having the collarbones wide, placing your arms alongside of your body, and the palms are open to the front of the room. So stay here and breathe in and breathe out. And imagine that there is a straight line passing from the crown of the head all the way to the floor. So you want to have your chin parallel to the floor. You don't want to look up or you don't want to look down. Stay here. Keep your arms active. Breathe in and breathe out. And then we're going to go to Utthita Hastasana, which is extending the arms all the way toward the ceiling. Stay here. You're looking to the front of the room. Again, let's give that external rotation to the arms, the same rotation that we talked earlier. Breathe in and breathe out. With the exhale, you're going to bring the hands together and bring them in front of your heart. Samastatihi. And back to mountain pose. One more time. Let's reach both arms all the way toward the ceiling. Gaze up, touch palms. With exhale, bring your hands to your heart and back to the mountain pose. So now from here, we're going to do the second pose, which is the forward fold, or the same pose that we did, Uttanasana. Let's reach both arms toward the ceiling. Take a breath. Gaze up, touch palms. With exhale, you're folding forward, coming all the way to Uttanasana. Release the head and the neck. Then you're going to take a breath, lift your chest only halfway and bring your hands on your shins. Try to make your back flat. And you're gazing to the top of your mat. The chest is a little bit open to the front. And this is called Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale back to Uttanasana. Let's do this one more time. Let's take a breath, lift your chest halfway, hands on the shins. Ardha Uttanasana. You're pulling the belly in to support the lower back. And exhale back to Uttanasana. And then very gently push to the feet. Come all the way to the standing. Reach both arms toward the ceiling. Take a breath. And with the exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Back to the mountain pose. And then from here, we're going to go to the plank position. And I will introduce you to the Cobra pose and the down dog. So let's take a breath. Reach both arms all the way toward the ceiling. With the exhale, you're folding forward, coming to Uttanasana. Take a breath, lift your chest halfway, hands on the shins, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale back to Uttanasana. Now bend your knees a little bit, plant your hands on the floor, and step one at a time back to the plank position. So stay here. I want to show you that for a correct plank, you want to keep your hip in the same level as your head. You definitely don't want to dump your lower body. And very gently, if you're going to push the hips and the thighs to the back of the room, coming to downward facing dog. So this is the same pose that we just did on the previous section. So coming back to the plank position, put your knees down because this is the supported plank, and I definitely recommend that at this level we put the knees down. And then very gently you're going to come all the way down on your bellies on your mat. So you're going to lie down on your mat. Place your hands next to your rib cage. So as you can see, I have my feet pointed. And bringing the hands next to your rib cage. And then you want also the elbows to hug each other, to hug your torso. So you don't want your elbows to be open. It's important to have them hugging your torso. Have your forehead on the floor. Let's take a breath. Lift your chest only the chest, the upper chest. And as you can see, I'm keeping my neck the same extension of my spine, so I'm not doing this. I'm gazing at the floor. Very gently lower yourself. Let's do this one more time. Let's take a breath, lift your chest. This is Bhujangasana in Sanskrit, or Cobra pose. And very gently lower yourself. And we will go back to the plank position, but the supported plank. The knees are on the floor. Coil your toes under. Push the hips and the thighs to the back of the room, coming to downward facing dog. So stay here for 2 to 3 deep breaths. And then very gently put your knees on the floor and come to the tabletop. So let's widen your knees wider than your hips, and we're going to sit back gently to the child pose. So you're sinking back, extending your arms to the top of your mat, pressing your palms strongly to the floor, keeping your forearms and your upper arms engaged, and just put your forehead on the floor. Breathe in and breathe out. So the breath is very important in our practice. With every movement, you need to be aware of your breath. And also be aware of the changes happening in your body. For example, here, just see the movements or the changes internally happening around your groin areas. And then very gently come back to the tabletop. Bring the knees back. And from here, we want to transition to another pose. We call it low lunge. So you're going to step your left foot between your hands. And again, I recommend for some of you who have a hard floor to pad your back knee with a blanket. And very gently, you're going to come all the way up and reach both arms toward the sky. So make sure to have your left knee on top of your left heel, and your knee should be aligned with the second toe. Again, reach the arms toward the ceiling. Let's externally rotate the arms. So again, the external part of the arms are rotating toward the front of the room. Stay here. We are pulling the belly in. Breathe in and breathe out. And very gently, you're going to bend your elbows like a cactus and very gently twist to your left side. So this is a twist. When we talk about a twist in yoga, you're talking mainly about the twist happening in the rib cage and basically the torso. So it's really not about the arms, which are the external levers. It's more about the torso or the core. So stay here, breathe in and breathe out. And then very gently come back to the center. And you're going to place your hands on the floor. You're going to push the front leg back. And now replacing it with the right leg. And coming all the way up to the low lunge. Same instructions. You want to make sure that the front knee is above the front heel. You're pulling the belly in, collarbones wide. Let's give that external rotation to the arms. Breathe in and breathe out. And then very gently bend your elbows like a cactus. You're going to twist to the right. Staying here, letting the twist happen on the, again, internal organs, on the torso, and just feel the stretch around your rib cage. Breathe in and breathe out. Then gently come back to the center. Again, lean forward, place your hand on the floor, and you're going to transition back to tabletop. And then from here, come on seated on your mat. Sit comfortably, but before we actually go to the cross leg, let's bring the soles of the feet together. So this is called Badaknasana, and you're bringing the soles of the feet together. And it doesn't need necessarily to be too close to your thighs. It's okay even if it's here. As long as you feel the stretch happening on the inner thighs, this means it's working. So again, stay here and then elongate the upper body. Keep your collarbones wide to the front of the room and just feel the stretch happening around your groins, thighs, all of the muscles of your leg. And then very gently, you're going to extend your legs in front of you. We're going to do one of the most foundational forward fold in yoga. So let's reach both arms all the way toward the ceiling. Take a breath. With the exhale, you're folding forward, grabbing either the toes or the ankles, or even if you have a strap, you can use a strap around your feet. And again, it's fine to have a micro bend in the knees because we have this purpose of bringing the chest closer to the thighs, and it doesn't necessarily mean that we should straighten the legs. At the same time, it's safer for the lower back. Breathe in and breathe out. And then very gently let it go. You're going to lie down on your mat. And let's hug the knees into your chest. Let's flex your feet. By flexing your feet, what I mean is that you're pushing the heel out, and pointing your feet, it means you're, again, pointing the toes. So again, flexing and pointing. So let's do this couple of rounds together. Flexing, pointing, flexing, pointing, flexing, and pointing. And then very gently, let's do the thread the needle, one of the hip openers. So you're gonna place your your right ankle on the left knee and interlace your fingers behind the left thigh and flex both feet. So if you still feel you have still room, you can also push your right knee a little bit away from your body. However, I recommend that you more focus on keeping your feet flexed and just hugging the left thigh with your hands. So stay here, breathe in and breathe out. And then very gently, let's switch. You're going to switch the legs. Place your left ankle on top of the right knee. Again, hug the knee, hug the thigh, and interlace your hands behind your thigh. Flex, keep your feet flexed. And then when you're ready, again, unravel your legs. Let's stack the knees next to each other. You want to do one of the reclining twists, which are very famous in yoga and very important. Very gently lower the knees all the way to your right side as you're extending your left arm to the left side of the room. Again, try to keep both sides of the shoulders on the floor and feel the stretch happening all the way from the left hand, coming all the way to the left leg. Place your hands place your palms facing the floor. Breathe in and breathe out. then let's gently change this. Now bring the knees back to the center and lower the knees all the way to the left side as you are extending your right arm to the right side of the room. Breathe in and breathe out. And then very gently come back to the center. And again, bring the knees to the right side. You're gonna come all the way to the seated position. Sit comfortably, keep your eyes closed, bring your hands to your heart. Let's be grateful for today's practice. And I hope that this will be beneficial to you. We still have a long way to go. Thanks for joining. Namaste.